Girl, 17, whose dad is lost in nightclub rubble, spends birthday at scene. Maximo Peña had been coming to the Jet Set nightclub every single Monday for the past 30 years. This week, excited to see a concert by the popular Dominican singer Ruby Perez, he took his wife and his sister. Now all three are buried beneath the rubble of the collapsed discotheque after the roof caved in partway through the performance, leaving at least 218 dead. "I haven't heard any news about any of them," said Shaylin Peña, Maximo's 17-year-old daughter, as she sat on a wall outside the devastated venue. "It was just another Monday night for them. In fact, my dad invited my mom to come too, but at the last minute she decided not to go. It was a blessing in disguise." Behind her as she spoke to me on Wednesday afternoon, a team of rescue workers was meticulously going through the rubble inside the building, listening for the slightest sound of a survivor beneath them. They had been joined by Israeli and Mexican search teams and were using sophisticated heat-seeking equipment to try to locate anyone still alive. Shaylin told me her cousin was one of the rescue workers, sifting through the debris for her own uncle, which she said brought her peace of mind that a relative was inside doing everything in her power to try to track Maximo down. But the uncertainty and the endless wait for information were becoming unbearable, Shaylin said. "I feel the urge to just go in there and push aside all the rocks and pull him out, but as much as I want to, I really can't. I just have to sit here and wait it out." Hours later, the government released a statement saying that all reasonable chances of finding more survivors have been exhausted, and so the search and rescue mission would give way to the recovery. Of the authorities have been doing what they can to keep the public informed, delivering grim updates on the number of dead, which has risen steadily with every passing hour. At regular intervals, teams have been emerging from the site carrying bodies covered by blankets on stretchers. Earlier on, some people were brought out alive, bolstering the hopes of the relatives. The head of the Emergency Operations Center, COE, said that since the roof collapse, 189 people had been rescued alive. But by Wednesday evening, officials said that given the conditions at the site observed by the more than 300 rescue workers, they would conclude the rescue phase of their operations within hours. The president of the Dominican Republic, Luis Abinader, has declared 3 days of national mourning, a reflection of the scale of the tragedy unfolding at the site. Among those confirmed to have lost their lives in the accident were some well-known national figures, including Perez himself, two much-loved former baseball players, Octavio Dotel and Tony Blanco, and a regional governor. And alongside them, scores of merengue music lovers and Perez fans also died in the collapse. Scene script. For now, the authorities' focus remains on the recovery operation. However, eventually the questions will turn to the cause of the collapse, and government investigators will have to provide meaningful answers to the families in due course. One theory is already circulating outside the venue. Many are pointing the finger of blame at a fire at the nightclub around 2 years ago. Some fear the blaze structurally weakened the site, or that any repairs carried out were insufficient or not up to code. The owner of the Jet Set nightclub, Antonio Espaillat, delivered a video message via social media expressing his condolences and those of all the Jet Set family to the victims' relatives. He also insisted that he and his team were cooperating totally and transparently with the authorities over the disaster. Shaylin Peña has heard about the fire at the nightclub and is among those who thinks it played a part. However, for now she has bigger worries. Despite the family's efforts to protect them, her younger stepsisters found out that their father and mother were trapped under the rubble from other children at school. They are terrified, she added. It is Shaylin's birthday on Thursday, a day she would normally celebrate alongside her father, stepmother, and aunt. Instead, she must endure it in the worst possible circumstances, caught inside the worst such tragedy in her country's modern history. At least 113 people have been killed and more than 150 injured after a roof collapsed at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic's capital, Santo Domingo, officials have said. Thank you for watching Topics on Trend. Go ahead and check out another trending video on our channel here, like, subscribe, comment, and share.